Hey there everybody! Today I want to talk a little bit about using your EIDL loan for equipment purchases. But before I go into that, I just want to introduce myself. My name is Ryan. I'm the owner of a CPA firm that I started. Please leave any questions that you have for me in the comments. I'll do my best to answer them. I'm currently taking some time off from work, so my time in front of a computer to answer these questions may be limited, so I'll do my best. I'm sorry if I don't get to your question. Another alternative is you can join our Facebook group. I'll post that in the link below. It's a little easier for me to navigate questions and answers in there, and also it helps other people see what your questions are, so maybe they have that same question, they can get that same question answered through our interaction. All right. Also, please subscribe to my channel. I'm gonna try to be keeping everybody updated as often as I can. Trying to do a video once per day. Maybe not on Sunday though, because I need a break sometimes. But please subscribe to be updated on the PPP and EIDL and anything SBA or IRS related during this pandemic. Okay, so can you buy equipment using your EIDL proceeds? And as frustrating as an answer as this is, it really depends. One thing you have to keep in mind is that the EIDL funds are meant to carry you through this disaster. It's to help you stay afloat. It's not meant for expansion and growth. So the SBA is really trying to deter people from using this loan as like a low interest loan to grow their business. And so when you look at all these questions that you have about, like, can you use it to buy a new car, or can you use it to buy a truck for your work, you have to come at it with the mindset of, is this expanding my business or is it not? So this is one of those gray area rules that's going to take a little bit of judgment and discernment from your end to be able to navigate. I don't think there's any particularly right or wrong answer. It just depends, and it depends on what you're using. It depends on what you're planning on purchasing, and it depends on why you're purchasing it, your intents behind it. So that's a very important thing. So can you use it to buy equipment? Technically, yes, you can. And it depends on why you're buying that equipment. I've been doing some research and some thinking over the weekends, and I think that if you buy equipment, financing it is safer than not. So what that means is, if you have to buy like a new widget maker or whatever, and you get it financed so you can make monthly payments on it, that is safer than just using your EIDL funds to pay the whole thing off outright. Also with leases, leases to me are safer than buying equipment. And also remember, this all just depends on why you're getting this equipment. Leases, since you won't own the equipment, you're just making payments on it, that is also a safer bet. And so what we're trying to go for here is whether or not these purchases or leases will pass an SBA audit if they decide to audit you. Now, I'm not saying that you will be audited, I'm just saying that you may be audited, and you should treat these scenarios as if you are going to be audited and that it will pass the audit. And what it comes down to is if you can properly explain to the auditor why you bought this equipment and if they agree with you. So I'm going to run through some scenarios that people have been asking me, and I think it would be just good to run through these scenarios to figure out whether these equipment purchases are viable or not. Some people have been asking me, what if you have equipment that is broken, like a salon chair that is broken, or maybe you have a company truck that just broke down, is irreplaceable, and you have to get a new truck in order to function. I believe that in these scenarios, you can use your PPP funds to purchase equipment, because if you have a truck that's broken and you can't conduct business anymore, that is definitely harming you. And if you have to replace it with a new truck, that is not expanding your business. You're just replacing your old truck with a new truck. Same with like a salon chair. You're replacing the old broken one with a new one. You're not really expanding your business. So in this scenario, I think that's okay. Another scenario is, what if you were in the middle of an expansion right when this crisis hits? So let's say you're a restaurant owner who just started leasing out the space next door, and they're building it out and they're requesting more money as they build it out. So in this case, I also think it's okay for you to use your EIDL for that purpose, because now you're stuck with that new space, all right? It already happens. They're already building it out. So if you can't finish the build out, now you have like a useless space there. And that's gonna be hurting you more than it's helping you. And since the expansion has already happened, it's already been underway, I think it's okay to use your EIDL funds for that. And you can apply that same logic to any other type of scenario where the expansion was already happening while the disaster hit. The next scenario is if you just signed a contract or just took delivery of new equipment right before the crisis hit. So you just signed a contract for a new widget maker, and it's like the widget maker extreme, and it can make widgets like super fast, way faster than your old widget. And you did this like mid-February, right? And you're expecting delivery of it, let's say like end of March, right after the crisis hit. So is this a viable option? Well, I think same thing here. You already are expecting the equipment, you signed a contract for it, so you're stuck with it. And let's say this is just much better for your business. And since it happens before the crisis, this is okay. Now, if you finance this widget maker, then I would not use the EIDL loan to just pay it off. Okay, that's frowned upon. That's considered refinancing old long-term debt with your EIDL. What I would do is just go through with the equipment purchase and make the monthly payments if that's how you did it. Or if there was no financing option at all, then you can continue to move on with purchasing the equipment using the EIDL loan, because it was already in motion before the crisis hit. Okay, and the last scenario I'm going to go through is if you had to hire an employee during this time and you had to buy like desks and chairs and all that shit for their office or for their space. That's technically okay too, because like although like office equipment like desks, chairs, bookcases, filing cabinets, even though those are technically fixed assets, they're not really fixed assets to the amounts that like you're expanding your business. Now, this is also requires some discernment here. Like, why are you hiring this employee? Is it to replace an old employee? Or are you moving a part-time employee to a full-time? Or are you moving spaces around? Like, all of these questions matter. So if your business is just naturally growing and you have to hire employees to keep up with the growth, that's okay. But you can't hire employees to grow. You can't buy equipment to grow. But if your business is growing and you have to keep up with it, that sounds like more of a scenario that is okay. So that's the tricky thing here, is you just have to use your best judgment, trust in yourself, really trust in yourself, use the best judgment, be able to discern, and just know that the funds from this loan is not supposed to be used to get rich quick and grow your business. It's to help support you through the crisis, whatever that may be. While it's supposed to be used for working capital, whatever that support means to you, you should be able to use it for that, to help get you through the crisis, just not to grow, okay? I know it's probably a not very satisfying answer, just because it all depends. It's such a gray area, which makes this whole thing more frustrating and more confusing. But we're trying to do our best to inform you and all the other YouTubers out there that's just trying to do their best. These rules are being interpreted by other CPAs, by financial advisors, by real estate professionals. They all might have slightly different interpretations. Some rules are definitely black and white, and some are very gray area. So just do your best to discern, as long as your intent and the reason of why you're buying equipment or hiring employees or whatever is aligned with the SBA guidelines. I think you would be able to pass an SBA audit. If you think that you're doing something that feels a little wrong, or just look at that. Just question yourself, question the intent. I believe that you'll know how to properly discern here whether or not you're using these funds properly. That's all I got for today. Be sure to subscribe to my channel if you want to keep updated on new stuff. And please like this video if you enjoyed it or you thought it was helpful. And I'll see you guys next time. Take care.